All right. For this one, we are going to go through the different movements of your synovial joints. So starting at the top is flexion. You're going to notice that a lot of these terms are going to be opposites of each other. So we have flexion and extension. If you're starting out here at 180 degrees and you decrease the angle between these two bones, that is flexion, when you're decreasing the angle. Increasing the angle between the two bones is extension. So you can extend, you can flex. And then anytime you go past anatomical position, so palms forward, down at your side. So just imagine this is down at my side, my palms are facing forward. If I want to go past anatomical extension, I can hyperextend. So bending your wrist like that is actually hyperextension. Flexion, extension, hyperextension. You can do the same thing with your neck. So you can have flexing the neck, extending the neck, hyperextending the neck by going backwards, right? So hyperextension, normally when you hear that term, you think of somebody like hyperextending their knee, going past that anatomical position. That can cause damage. But you can also hyperextend your wrist or your neck or other parts of the body that are made to hyperextend. Okay, the next two are abduction and adduction. So abduction, abduction is going away from the midline of the body. So think about it, if somebody has a baby taken, right? That baby gets abducted. It gets taken away, right? If aliens take you up in their spaceship, they have abducted you. So you can abduct away from the midline of the body. Or you can adduct, adding to the body towards that midline. So you can adduct. You can also abduct and adduct your fingers. So on this one, we're talking about the midline of the hand. So you can abduct your fingers, or you can adduct your fingers. But you can also abduct and adduct your wrist. So we're looking right here. I can take my wrist and rotate them away, abduct, abduct, or adduct, adduct, moving towards the midline. Okay, then we have elevation and depression. If something is going to elevate, it's going to take you up. So you can elevate your mood, or you can elevate your shoulders. You can depress your shoulder. You can bring it down. You can depress your jaw, or elevate your jaw, right? And then we have protraction, retraction. So protraction is putting it out there. Retraction is taking it back. You can protract and retract your jaw again. So to protract, you put it out there, bring it in. To retract it. All right, circumduction. Think of circum as a circle, right? So the first person to circumnavigate the globe was Ferdinand Magellan. He went all the way around the globe, right? The perimeter of a circle is its circumference. So if you hear circum, think circle. You have some joints, like your shoulder joint, where you can draw a circle. You can also do it with just your condylar joint. So this type of movement, the drawing of a circle, is circumduction. Then we have medial and lateral rotation. So rotation is around a central axis. Like you can rotate your head. You can rotate your arm. You can also medially rotate your arm. So I can rotate this part of my arm to the inside. I'm not moving my elbow. I'm moving the humerus, and the elbow is just attached. So that's a medial rotation. That's a lateral rotation, right? So medial, lateral. And you use your rotator cuff muscles for that. Supination and pronation are talking about the way that the radius and the ulna lay on top of each other. So if you hold the humerus steady, you can still move the radius and the ulna. And going from palm down to palm up, is supination, like you're serving supper, or you're serving soup, right? Supination. And then from up to down is pronation. And we'll talk about these because you have a bunch of muscles that do a couple things. Like, we're talking about your biceps brachii, right? Your biceps. It flexes, like it brings these two bones closer together, but it also supinates. So you can flex, and then you can supinate, and you can see that that bicep moves when you supinate. So it's not just a flexor, it's also a supinator. Alright. And then the next one we have is opposition. So of that thumb, so between that carpal bone and this metacarpal, you're going to have it where it moves. Just look at your fingers and these metacarpals of your palm. Like, when you bend your fingers, these don't move. But if you do that opposition, this grasping motion, you are moving this metacarpal right here. So the metacarpal moves. Opposition, this grasping. We have opposable thumbs. Thumbs that are capable of opposition or grasping. Alright. And then dorsiflexion and plantar flexion. So if these are my feet and I want to dorsiflex, I will take it and I would point my toes up. So kind of rock back on your heels. Plantar flexion, toes down. So if you're doing like calf raises, you are planting those toes down. So standing on your tippy toes is plantar flexion. And then we have inversion and eversion. So inversion, again, if this is my feet and I roll the sole of my feet to the inside, that is inversion, into the inside. Eversion is to the outside. So if you take your foot and you try to rotate it to the outside, it's really not that comfortable. And so I like to say you have an aversion to eversion. So rotating that foot to the outside is kind of difficult. And that is it for the movements.